Hey, what's going on, guys? Annie here. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things that you must know, you have to know, as a beginner SWGOH player. So let's get straight into it. So today we're going to be covering shipments here. We're going to be covering the store. Of course, we're going to cover all the energies and how I spend the energies. We're going to talk about Galactic War, which, as you know, if you're below 85, you're going to be doing that every single day. Then we're going to talk about the arenas, and then after that, we have some bonus tips for you, so stay tuned. All right, so as you guys know, right off the bat, at the very beginning, when you make the account, you're gonna have basically two energy types: the regular energy and the Cantina energy. So what you want to do with your crystals at the very beginning, by the way, do not spend anything in the store. The only thing that you're gonna want to spend your crystals on is going to be the regular energy. So as you know, every day you can refresh this 3 times, the regular energy 3 times at 50 crystals each. And after the 3 times, it's gonna go up to 100 per refresh, and you want to stop right there. But every single day, you want to make sure that you absolutely spend your 150 here on the regular energy. And if you're for whatever reason, if you're sitting on like a lot of crystals, which at the very beginning it's actually kind of rare. But for whatever reason, if you're sitting on like 1,500 crystals or 2,000, feel free to spend like maybe 100 per day or something on the Cantina refreshes, or up to 2 or 3. Depends on if you're really trying to get a character. You could actually spend a little bit on the Cantina energy to speed that up. Um, all right, so there's those two energy, and at level 50, you're gonna be unlocking mod energy right here in the middle. But by the way, you could just ignore the conquest energy because it only comes once you hit level 85, as you may or may not know. But mod energy is gonna come around once you hit level 50. If you have any extra energy, you could also spend it in mod energy. But the only thing that you want to make sure when you do that is you want to make sure that you want to be spending it on the tier 3s. So as you know here, when it's tier 3, you get the 5 dot mods right here, as you see, the 5 dots on the top. The tier 2, tier 1 right here, as you see, for tier 1, you only get like 1, 2, 3 dots. For tier 2, you get like 2, 3, 4 dots. So you want to make sure that you spend it on the tier 3. And right off the bat, like if you're able to complete health tier 3 and you can't progress any further, you can't do the defense ones, you can't do the crit damage, crit chance ones. If you can't progress all the way, of course, speed is always good, right? But if you can't get that far, don't feel bad at just putting all the health mods on a character just to start with. Of course, later on, when your characters get stronger, you want to be, getting the proper mods for whatever characters you might have. All right, so that's going to be for mod energy. Once you unlock ships, you're going to be getting fleet energy. Um, and fleet energy, you just spend it on whatever you need to farm. Everything else, if you have extra, you could do a single refresh. Let's say you're farming this ship right here. You could do a single refresh at 25 energy, 25 crystals per piece. If you don't want to though, you could always go back to into the normal, and there's some pretty decent gear pieces you could farm. Although at the very beginning you might not have a lot of options, this is a great piece of gear to farm Mark III sign or holo projector. I'm going to be talking about relic farming materials in a different video, but this is just know that this is a core piece that you want to always have a lot of in stock. All right, so that's it for the energies. Now, next, let's talk about the store. Before we talk about the shipments, let's talk about the store. What's worth buying? What's not worth buying? All right, so right off the bat, every time when you do a battle, you're gonna get ally points. And when it comes to ally points, always make sure that you only spend it on the Bronzium data card right here. Um, every day you're gonna get 10 of these for free, but there are things you can purchase with the ally points in the store. I'm actually just gonna show you right here. So with ally points, you can buy like in a weekly shipment. You can spend some here. I believe there's also like other places you could spend it on. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's on Data Crowns. Yeah. So here you can like spend 100k ally points. That's just crazy. Or 10k here for 100k data caches right here. You do not want to do these. Absolutely do not want to do this. The only place you want to spend it on is right here. It'll get you the most bang for your buck, even though, I'm talking about like mostly free-to-play players. Or if you spend money, this is still the best way to use your ally points on, because it's possible to unlock these characters on the bottom for free, completely for free. So if you're talking about like Boba Fett, that's an 80 shard unlock, or Bear's Ophi. 80 shard unlock. So you could spend 250 ally points right here and be getting 80 shards for free. And 80 shards, as you know, that's going to convert into a lot of the shard to shop currency, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But first, let's go to the store real quick. So obviously, if you are spending money in this game, obviously, the Hyperdrive bundle is the best bundle that you can possibly buy. You get all these ships, all these characters at level 80, at 5 stars right off the bat. And that's going to give you a huge head start before everyone else. But if you're just a free-to-play player, make sure that you absolutely do not spend your crystals on any of these packs. I mean, there are packs that sometimes it could be good to purchase. But for the most part, especially at the very beginning, you do not want to be spending your crystals on any of these. Later on, if you're short on these Chirotechs, like these two packs are not terrible value, right? Like you could spend like 690, and the chances of you getting 25 or 50 are 50-50. I mean, at least that's what it says. So even if you get 25, you're still spending what it's worth. Like 25 Cairo tags right here, it's roughly worth 690. It might be worth like 700 crystals. So you're still like buying it at its regular price, but if you do happen to get 50, you're literally getting pretty much 50% off on that. Sometimes you get these okay, so it's not here in the store, but sometimes you get Zeta packs for, I believe, 1250 crystals. If you're hoarding for a Galactic Legend, in the long run, you know that you might be running a few Zetas short. It's worth considering buying those packs. I've actually bought some of those packs myself, just to get the Zetas ready when I unlock Ray. As you know, or as you might not know, when I made this account at the very beginning, I was rushing for Galactic Legend Ray. I was able to get her to Relic 9 within 1 year, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so there is for the store, and now we're going to be talking about the shipments. So every day in 6 hours, the shipment store, the featured shipments tab is going to get a refresh every 6 hours. So every 6 hours when that happens, ideally, if you're not sleeping, by the way, if you're sleeping, do not get up for this, because sleeping is worth more than this. All right, so but you do want to make sure though, every time when you see that these 4 gear pieces are available for purchase, that you do purchase these. These 4 pieces are going to be sold for credits, pretty much no credits at all. So you want to make sure that you're purchasing these every time when it refreshes. All right, now on to the weekly shipment. Oh, by the way, everything else here, do not buy. Like, they're not worth it. Just trust me, they're not worth it. Unless if you absolutely need like 4 houndstooth shards for whatever reason, maybe you're trying to meet a deadline or something. Maybe you're trying to unlock Houndstooth before GAC starts, and you're only missing 4 pieces of blueprints. Maybe then it's worth it. But even then, like, you could easily spend 400 crystals in energy, and using that energy to farm Houndstooth, you're likely to get 4 blueprints plus more. Like, you get experience, you get gear pieces, you'll get other stuff as well. So I generally do not spend any crystals on any of the blueprints or character shards, for the same reason, characters. All right, so here's the weekly shipment. Every week this refreshes, and every week you're gonna see these 1 million credit Shipments on the top. I never buy these, and like what I was saying before, you never want to spend ally points here either. But there are things that you might want to consider. For example, if you are unlocking Malik, if you have Malik unlocked, if you're trying to get Malik to 7 stars or Gas, General Skywalker, uh, aka Gas, to 7 stars, and maybe you're missing like 15 or 25 Malik pieces, uh, of course, you're gonna have to already have Malik or Gas unlocked in order to buy these extra shards. But if you do, and if you just happen to be missing 25 Malik shards until these 7 stars, feel free. I mean, like if you have a lot of crystals, feel free to buy these. All right, so there are certain things that you want to keep an eye out on, and they are the relic pieces. Um, we're gonna make another whole separate relic material video because there's just a lot to cover. But in here, just know that Droid Brains are Relic 9 and it's in the store for free now. It's been here for 4 weeks. That's how I was able to get Raid to Relic 9. I had exactly 4 weeks at 5 each. So I got 20 Droid Brains and I took Raid to Relic 9. Arrow Magnifiers, it has been in the store for a while now. So these are the Droid Brains and the Arrow Magnifiers. They are the uncraftable pieces when it comes to Relic material. So if you're even thinking about bringing a character to Relic 8 or 9, you want to be making sure that you're buying these Arrow Magnifiers every week in the store and also the Droid Brains. Everything else is craftable. The gyro keypads are craftable. The impulse detectors are craftable. The Zimbital cards are craftable. Electrum conductors, aluminum heat sinks, chromium transistors, bronze wiring, carbonized circuit boards, they're all craftable. So if you want to buy something with the crystals, make sure I would prioritize the Droid Brains and the Arrow Magnifiers, unless if you're just sitting on like 7,000 crystals or something that you're missing maybe 10 gyro keypads, you feel free to buy these, right? Okay, so there's that. Now let's talk about the Cantina battles. All right, so Cantina, typically I would just say, or what I did, at least what I did was, I started with Phoenix. I got Chopper to 7 stars, Here, the general rule of thumb is just to spend it in the characters that you absolutely need. If you don't need a character, do not worry about getting that character to 7 stars. So for me, I got Chopper to 7 stars. I didn't even really farm. I don't think I actually farmed Stormtrooper Han. Ahsoka Tano, maybe I bought like 10 or 20 shards. You can get her for free in the ally point packs. The packs I was talking about earlier that you buy with ally points. Boba Fett, I might have spent a little bit on Boba Fett, but everything else. And also I bought First Order Officer, I bought Qui-Gon Jinn. Also, I think I bought Poe Dameron and Odaka. But if you don't need these characters, like if you're not going for resistance right off the bat, there's absolutely no reason for you to buy Poe Dameron from here. So Qui-Gon's great, by the way. Qui-Gon's great. His Omicron is pretty insane. First Order Officer, because I got him because I'm going after a First Order fleet. But yeah, the general rule of thumb is if you don't need someone, just don't buy it. So at one point, you're going to be sitting on a lot of these Cantina tokens right here. What you want to do is you want to take Cassian's U-Wing all the way to 7 stars. One day you're going to be needing Cassian's U-Wing. And also, this is the only place in the store where you can spend 400 of your currencies and get 5 blueprints. Everywhere else is going to be 4 blueprints. So if you have excess Cantina battle tokens, you want to just spend it on Cassian's U-Wing. And if you're able to buy one of these, they're going to convert into more shard shop currencies right here. I could demonstrate, but I'm pretty sure you got what I'm saying. So, okay. So let's talk about the guild activity store. All right. So this is the store where you want to be spending all your currencies on gears, mostly gears. I don't want to say all gears because sometimes there are characters that you're going to want to buy. For example, Finn here. I bought Finn from this store. Sometimes you're gonna get like Luke right here, Farm Boy. If you're starting with the CLS route, you could get Luke here for free, essentially. First Order SF TIE Fighter here if you're going after First Order. I believe some of the other characters that show up here are like Jin Urso, which actually I think Jin Urso is the only place to farm her is here actually. So, but I know Old Ben shows up here sometimes. Who else? Maybe Ray Scavenger. Um, but I think Yan Han Solo and Colonel Stark, they're always here. But on the bottom two rows right here, I think that's where these are all randomized. But you want to keep an eye out just to see, in case one day you see, oh, this is a character that I need, and I have a lot of guild tokens, so just spend it there when it happens. So besides that, though, what I mostly spend it on are gears, or is gears. So Mark IV Zelton Bakta this is a pretty nice piece of gear. Some of these pieces are just very abundant. You can get it elsewhere. So for the pieces like Mark III Carbantes, they're always nice to buy here. Mark III Scinar Hollow Projector, I buy it here quite a bit as well. So it all depends on what you're missing. So for example, if I'm gearing Anakin, if I desperately want Anakin to get to the relic level before the next GAC, I'll definitely buy 10 pieces of, these Mark IV Zalton Bacta gel salvagers. But it all depends on like what you're missing at the moment. Okay, so let's talk about Squad Arena. Um, you're gonna be making a lot of these Squad Arena tokens every day. Doesn't matter what rank you are in the Squad Arena. So at the beginning, I started with Kanan Jarrus. This is the same deal with the Cantina store, where you just want to be spending your currencies on what you actually need. What you don't need are going to be either converted into extra shards, but I actually don't recommend that. I know a lot of people recommend that, but here's the thing. You can only get prestige from the store here. So like, why would you use this currency to convert extra shards when it's, in my opinion, it's much better to buy it on spend it on prestige. You cannot get prestige anywhere else, um, well, for free. So I'm sure you can spend crystals to buy prestige, but after you get your absolutely necessary characters, I would just dump it in prestige. And also one other thing worth mentioning is this on the bottom. So they just added 4 more new pieces of gears on the bottom here. So if you need a particular gear, for example, me here, I keep all of my gears to have at least 150 in stock. So here I'm actually only at 104. So if I see this again, I will be buying this. But otherwise, everything else goes into prestige. Because once you get a capital ship from like, I don't know, 6 to 7 stars, you're gonna need a lot of prestige. I believe at one point I was sitting on like maybe 1,000 prestige. And once I took a capital ship up, I literally it almost went down to 0. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, prestige. The general rule of thumb for me is if you can only get something in this particular store, spend the currency on that, Because otherwise, you're just spending currencies on the stuff you can easily get elsewhere. And then when it comes to really the stuff you need, like from the store that you can only get from the store, you don't have currencies for it, right? So that's my general rule of thumb. Okay, so Galactic War. We're going to be talking about the Galactic War, the strategy in a second, but every day, if you fully clear the Galactic Wars, you're going to be getting 100 or 1,200 of these currencies every day. So what you want to do is if you are starting with Phoenix, like I did, most likely this is going to be your first 7-star character, someone in the store. For me, it was Zeb. And after I got Zeb, you gotta take a look at what you actually need. It's essentially the same as the Squad Arena store and also the Cantina store. So for me, there really wasn't anything. Like after I got Ray, I got Phasma to some stars right here. But really, like, oh yeah, so I got Resistance Pilot here to some star as well. But besides that, actually I bought Poggle too because I had Geos. But other than that, you really don't need to spend, like, there's no reason for me to max out a 7-star Luminara, a 7-star Bodhi, a 7-star Night Sister Initiate. Uh, these other ones I just got it for free to some stars essentially. I did not spend anything. But the Geo ships do show up here. So Spy shows up here as you see, Soldier shows up here as you see pretty frequently. And if you're going after the 3 Geo ships at the very beginning, this is a great place to farm it. And I actually recommend the 3 Geo ships at the beginning as well. So this might be something that you want to keep an eye out for. But later on, you know, if you need a wedge, I actually just bought a lot of wedge pieces from the store right here, and it's currently at 7 stars. It's maxed. But his pal, what's his name? Well, the other guy, his ship is actually not maxed yet, and I'm just waiting for him to show up here. Fives shows up here sometimes too. Sunfac, I believe Sunfac is very rare, but I think he does show up here. I could be wrong on Sunfac. But if you do, I think he does actually. So if you do see Sunfac shows up here, you know, you grab it, just grab it. But if you absolutely have nothing else to that you want to purchase from the store, what you want to do is you want to be buying the extra ship blueprints, because 4 ship blueprints is worth more than 10 character shards. So once you convert the 4 ship blueprints into the shard shop, you actually get more currency in the shard shop than as if you converted 10 character shards. All right. Okay, so the mod store. Now, this is, in general, you're not going to be wanting to touch this as a beginner player. Mostly because you need the credits, you need the ship credits as well. But if you do happen to be sitting on like 10 million credits or something, and you absolutely have no character that you want to level to level 70, 85, then you can consider looking into this store. And if you're going after a Galactic Legend, like for me, I was going after Galactic Legend Ray, and I know what kind of mods she needs. So if you're going after SLKR or something, you better look up what kind of mods that Galactic Legend needs, right? So for me, it was Ray, and she needs all health mods, and if you know, and I'm looking for very, very, very specific stats. So every day I would come here and try to pay attention and see, you know, if there's any health mods that, you know, fits all the criterias that I'm looking at, right? You know, so if you see if your character needs, it's actually a terrible example. This is a bad mod. Do not buy. But let's pretend here for a second. Say that your character that you're trying to basically max out, let's say that character needs a speed set. And this mod does have a speed secondary, which is great for speed sets. And if your character does happen to need protection and flat health, I would not buy this mod, by the way, especially if you're a beginner. Late game, you know, maybe you can buy this just to see how far the speed can go. If you have like 500 million ship credits. But generally, when you buy mods from the store, you want to make sure it's yellow. And you want to make sure all the stats, because when it's yellow, you know all the stats, right? So you're not playing a guessing game. For example, if you buy this purple one, you don't know what the 4th stat is. It could be completely useless, and that would be terrible, right? But let's pretend this is a yellow mod, and it has all the secondary stats you want. You know, if you're sitting on a lot of credits, get it. All right, so Fleet Arena. Once you unlock Fleet, you're going to be getting these Fleet Arena tokens. What I generally do is I go after what I absolutely need. So the Geo Soldier, the Geo Spy shows up here sometimes, but I mostly use the Galactic War because you get so many Galactic War tokens every day here that you don't need to be spending your fleet tokens on the Geo Spy and Geo Soldier, right? Sunfac does show up here occasionally, I believe. And when that happens, if you're at the very beginning, you need some fact, if you see him here, get it. Ahsoka Tano, you don't need Ahsoka Tano. This is one more thing. So Ahsoka Tano actually shows up here pretty frequently too. And it's actually very easy to max out Ahsoka Tano at 7 stars. So do not buy Ahsoka Tano here. Rex shows up right here sometimes, and I would highly recommend you grab it. If you're sitting on some spare fleet arena tokens, because Rex's ship this is the only place where you can get Rex's ship pretty much. So yeah, so otherwise, just it's the same with the other stores. Buy what you need. What you don't need, just don't even bother, right? I don't need Darth Maul. I don't need Wedge. What's the other guy's name? Biggs. Yeah. So I'm still waiting on Biggs's ship. So Ahsoka Tano, like it's very likely you're gonna get Ahsoka maxed for free, so you're not even gonna be considering that. Spy here, I believe Soldier shows up here as well sometimes. If you really, 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 really need 10 shards, I guess go for it. But oh, actually, you know what? I think Geo Spy, Geo Soldier here, you can use Fleet Arena tokens to get these to some stars if you don't want to be spending whatever energy that they use, regular or Cantina. Because it's actually then you free up the space, right, on your regular energy and Cantina energy to farm other things / gears. Okay. All right, so now let's talk about the guild shop or guild event tokens, aka get one or get two tokens. So where they get the name is GET, right? As you see here, guild event tokens GET. So this is Mark 1 and the other one's Mark 2. So this is get 1 and this is get 2. So for the get 1 tokens, what I did with it, there's like you don't have to follow what I did. For some reason, you can even argue that this is not the efficient way that to spend your get 1 tokens. But what I did was I maxed out Hermit Yoda and Wampa at the very beginning. And then ever since then, I've been just sitting on the get 1 tokens. So Hermit Yoda and Wampa, these two characters, pretty much the only place you can get these two characters is right here. So with the get 1 tokens. So what I did was I got Hermit Yoda to max. I got Wampa to max. I don't have to have a some star Hermit Yoda. Wampa is great now because he got an Omicron, right? So he's a great solo character for GAC. But there's absolutely no need for me to max out Hermit Yoda, but I just did it just because. But otherwise, you could be spending get 1 tokens on the gears, or if you're going after General Skywalker, if you're going after Malik, you want to be saving, I think, roughly 70k get 1 tokens, so that once you unlock Malik or once you unlock General Skywalker, that you can then bring that character from 5 stars to 7 stars. You're gonna need 70k tokens for each. But if you have Wampa maxed out, if you have Hermit Yoda maxed out, if you have General Skywalker, aka Gas, if you have Malik maxed out, then you can literally just spend it on whatever you want. You can spend it on gears. Like at that point, it literally just won't matter anymore. And if you're really trying to meet a deadline, it's okay to spend occasionally 400 or 800 of it on a certain piece of gear. All right. So now let's talk about the get 2 tokens. The get 2 tokens, I would absolutely recommend you either pick Malevolence or Negotiator to build out your first good fleet. If you're going after a lot of Galactic Republic characters, then you want to go after the Negotiator. If you're going after the 3 Geos, if you're then you want to be going after Malevolence. And if you have like a decent Grievous, you don't have to have a Grievous team. You really just need the capital. You just need your pilot to be pretty good gear in order for the capital ship to be stronger, faster as well. The thing about Malevolence is the higher relic Grievous is, the more powerful Grievous is, the more the stronger the spawned vulture droids are going to be. On the other hand, Negotiator, you know, the more power General Kenobi has, the faster your negotiator is going to be. Um, it doesn't actually buff anything else, as far as I know. All right, so what I'm doing now is I got Malevolence to some stars, and now I'm going after Negotiator. I'm trying to get Negotiator to some stars. And then after that, you know, I could spend it on either Rebel Officer Leia Organa, or I could just be spending it on Gears. There's really nothing else I can buy with the get two tokens. Does Probe Droid replace Rebel Officer Leia Organa sometimes here? I don't know. Her name is Rolo for short, by the way, in case you didn't know. But you know, if Probe Droid shows up here, sometimes you know I might want to max out Rolo and the Probe Droid, and then I'll go after the Gears. But I like I'm one of those people who like or who thinks it's a good idea that you want to spend the currencies on the stuff that you can only get from that store first, and then spend it on other things. It's going to be a general theme with me. And speaking of which, for the Grand Arena tokens, what I typically do is I pretty much only buy the Chirotech, not this, not the shock prods, but the battle computers. Reason being, you know, if I have any regular energy left over, I farm this piece of gear specifically with my regular energy. Because I think this is a better node than the battle computer node. So there's two Chirotechs, right? This is Chirotech shock prods. The other one is Chirotech battle computers. So I only exclusively spend my championship tokens on the battle computers because I would rather spend my regular energy on the shock prods. But at this point, like especially if you're going after a Lysite Galactic Legend, you're going to be farming Lysite tickets, which means you're going to be farming Lysite nodes. And for me, when I was farming Ray, I was literally only spending my Lysite energy in shock prods because to farm my tickets. Because I'm setting on a bunch of battle computers from spending these Grand GAC tokens, and I need more shock prods. And it works out perfectly because I need to farm Lysite tickets anyways. So I'm getting a lot of these from regular energy. But I mean, if you really wanted to buy 10 of these, I guess it's okay. Like these things you can get from other stores too. This is one thing as well. You cannot buy Caro tags in other stores unless if you're talking about like get two tokens right here. But that's pretty expensive, you know. But I typically just spend it on the battle computers. Or, you know, now that I'm not going after a Lysite Galactic Legend, I might split my GAC tokens 50-50 on the battle computers and shock prods. Might be something that I want to look into soon. Alright, so now let's talk about the shard shop. This is where if you have any excessive shards, whether it be characters or ships, they're all going to come here and they're going to be converted into the shard store tokens once you get the overflow. So the top few pieces right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are going to be cost 720. The other pieces are going to cost 360. And these bottom pieces, some 420, some 372. I don't really typically look at those. Although sometimes right here, this piece and this piece right here, they could be some useful pieces, so you want to keep an eye out. But in general, me, like, I don't know, call me cheap or whatever, but like I like to spend this on the 360 pieces. The 720, it just seems a little bit too expensive for the same amount of pieces, right? Four pieces. They're all four pieces. And these are 360, and these top ones are 720. So, you know, there's that difference. By the way, never, ever, 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 never, ever, 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 ever buy General Grievous shards here. It's super overpriced. Just don't do it. The place to get them is actually right here in the Fleet Arena token, shop right here. Grievous shows up here sometimes. same as Darth Vader. So at the beginning, you want to make sure that you want to get a 7-star Grievous and Darth Vader maxed out first. You know, every time when they show up, you want to always make sure that you have 1,200, that you just never go below that amount. Because you want to save those for when Grievous/Vader show up in the store here. So, but yeah, never get Grievous here. But that's pretty much it for the Shark Shop. Now, Conquest, you're gonna unlock Conquest when you hit level 85. So, and the only time I actually buy anything from this store right here is the stim packs. Because I want to recharge my Galactic Legend Ray because I use her quite a bit. She gets me 3 stars in the battles, and I use her every single time pretty much. So, but otherwise, like, you don't really need these other boosters or stuff like that. The tags. I mean, if one of these will help you to be like a final boss or something, like sure, go for it. Or if you're trying to unlock Maul, if you're trying to unlock the tie-in interceptors, or if you're trying to unlock whatever that's going to be here in the future, like Ben Solo. Right now, Ben Solo is the Conquest exclusive character, but once it's over, he's going to be rotated here. So if you want to buy those shards, like, feel free to spend your Conquest currencies here. But I spend most of my Conquest currencies. Actually, this is a good time to talk about it. And I never buy anything here in the Data Crowns. I just don't. I think these are overpriced, like way overpriced. Uh, yeah, these are, God. I mean, I didn't even scroll down. I've never scrolled in a store before. Like, just looking at the top few rows, I know they're overpriced. So I never spent anything here. All right, so let's talk about a Conquest currency rather. What I typically do is, in the middle of every sector, there's going to be a Jawa right here, and that Jawa sells token things that you can buy with your tokens. And what I buy with this token right here are gears only. Like which gear, it doesn't really matter, just the piece you need. Some of these, like I'm sitting on 123, like this I'm sitting on 140 right here. I'm not going to buy these, obviously. 180, don't need that, obviously. But here, as you see, I've already bought like 20 and 10 more of these pieces because I really needed this for Wampa. But let's see. So if I'm trying to get the TIE Fighter pilot to the relic level, I'm going to highly consider buying 20 of these, maybe 10 more, just to get the farm faster. This is, by the way, Conquest. If you clear a lot of nodes, you get your free Conquest credits as well from the whatever you call this progression right here. As you see, when I hit the next milestone, I'm gonna get 45 of these Conquest credits, 45 more here. So this is a Conquest is a great way to get your character from gear 12 to gear 13. And I'm gonna be making a video specifically about going from gear 12 to gear 13. Maybe I'll mix it up with the Jawa scavenger here on the bottom right. But I think this video has been a while now, so let's move on to the next thing. All right, so let's talk about arenas. All right, so Squad Arena, obviously, you guys know that it doesn't reward you any crystals anymore, so there's not a lot of incentive to climb high. However, if you can get into top 200 or 500, where you're going to be getting 100 more each day, and that adds up. Like, little things adds up, right? So there's that. Not really too much to talk about Squad Arena, but Fleet Arena, however, as you know, this is where all the crystals are, and you only get crystals for being in top 50. And me, when I unlocked my Malevolence very early, I was getting rank 1 every single day for at least, so my account is 1 year old, exactly 1 year old. Out of those 365 days, going from level 1 to 85 took, I don't know, like 3 months. So I want to say I probably got rank 2 for roughly 200 days at the very minimum. Well, let's say around that number. So 200 days times 400 is 80,000. So like we're talking about 80,000 crystals, and that's insane. That's an insane amount, right? And that helped me to get where I am today. So it just tells you how important fleet really is. And if you can, like what I was saying before, get to token fleet, the negotiator or the malevolence, right? And get to top five at the very minimum every day. That's gonna get you a lot of crystals every day. So we're if we were talking about like 80,000 crystals, literally like if you spend $100 on crystals, you only get 15,000. So think about that. 80,000 crystals, that's like at least $500 worth. I'm not doing the math correctly, but I think it's at least $500 worth of crystals. And that's just insane. Like at that point, I don't even need to buy the hyperdrive anymore. As you see here, I'm rank 5 today. I still got 300 crystals from that. But that's because at this point, like a lot of people actually just rush the executor right off the bat. That's why like my shard is filled with executors, and there's profundity here as well. But yeah, as you see, more executors. But it's honestly a solid strategy now to just go after the executor and just board or just set your fleet in top 5 and just never have to worry about it. You don't even have to do that many battle because not a lot of people can beat the executor. All right. So there's the arenas, but yeah, fleet is very, 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 very important. All right, so now let's talk about the Galactic Wars. If you're under level 85, every day you're gonna have 12 battles here, and you want to make sure that you beat absolutely every single one. And some of the ways that can help you with that is there are certain things that you want to keep in mind. You want to know is if you have a main team and if you have somewhat of a secondary usable team, you might want to do the first battle with your secondary team, get their turn meter to be preloaded so that when you go into a battle later, you're going to start with, I don't know, 50%, 25% turn meter, 75% turn meter, or close to 100% turn meter. That's going to help you to go first. And so, by the way, if you fail these battles, you can come out. Know that you can come out and you still have all your characters at the state that you came in with. You're gonna get them back. So don't worry about if I quit, are these characters gonna be unusable? Are they gonna die? No, they're not. All right. So another thing worth noting is when you go into the Galactic War battle right here, if you perform the exact same sequence of moves on the exact same characters every single time, you're gonna get the exact same result, exact same outcome every single time. So, if a particular sequence doesn't work, feel free to try something else, even though at the moment it might seem like a suboptimal play. But you can, make a not very good play, but that'll change up what's going to happen in the future. And then maybe then you then overcome your initial obstacle that you ran into, if that makes sense. But yeah, so what I had to do at the very beginning when I had my Phoenix was some of these battles I had to go in and try and over and over and over again. Like one of these battles could take like, I don't know, 20 minutes even, if they're like super, super difficult. It's like a puzzle piece. You just have to figure it out. All right. I believe that's pretty much it. There's a bonus tip I want to throw in, especially if you're a beginner. Some of these challenges, like, at the very beginning, like if you have not unlocked, let's say, level 3, but you can do a level 2 one right here, but you're also really close to meet the requirement of tier 3, level wise, your player level. You might want to wait on tier 2 a little bit for a day if you know that in that day you can get 2 or 3 more levels to be able to participate in tier 3. Get your get yourself to a bunch of experience, and then you know unlock tier 3, and then the rewards are going to be much more. Of course, training droids are nothing. But you know what I'm saying? Like the other challenges are going to give you a lot better rewards. Let's say, for example, the strength gear. Like you're talking about 3 Mark 3 Carbantes that you can, that you can get if you just wait maybe a few hours, maybe wait till the end of the day, and then you're able to participate in tier 3 as if, you know, you just right off the bat at the beginning of the day, you just complete the tier 2s, right? But I mean, I'm sure there are like other tips that I can give you that I just can't think of right now. But also, if you have any other more tips and tricks that you want to leave in the comments, also feel free to do that as well. But that's it for now for this video right here. I'm going to be making another separate video on a scavenger. Maybe I'll combine that with going from gear to gear 12 to gear 13. So keep an eye out for that. But this has been a lot of information, so make sure that you absolutely know these. These are all crucial. So, but yeah, just know that. And until next time, feel free to leave a thumbs up, comment. You know, actually make sure you just leave, if you know any other tips, feel free to share in the comments below so that, you know, the players get more well informed, and you know, so then they can perform better. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that bell if you haven't as well, so that when I unleash the other guys, you're going to be able to know. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.